How's it going, everyone? Mike Moo here. In this video, I'm going to share this kit. This is the Hoto Home 40-piece household toolkit. I found this over at my local Costco here in Sunnyvale, California. And it was going for $40. I figured this is something that you guys might be interested in because you guys love Costco and maybe you own a home or you just need a general toolkit. I did a quick search online before I picked it up to see what kind of value we're talking about over here. And I'll have some shop links down below. But as you can see, maybe in some of the shop links, you'll see that they're actually charging $80 or practically double the amount for this same kit over at other retailers. Now, it could be just, I don't know, scalpers purchasing this stuff. But I did do another quick search and I found that the electric screwdriver does run about $40 retail. So it's not so far off that someone would charge $80 for this whole complete set. All right, so as you can see, it's an all-in-one kit. And you'll see from the pictures here, there is an electric screwdriver, a claw hammer with rubber cap, adjustable spanner, wrench, needle nose pliers, measuring tape with dual-sided scale, a charging cable, a utility knife, hex key set, 1-inch S2 steel bits. You got an extension rod, you got 2-inch S2 steel bits, and you also got a universal flexible shaft, right? This actually has a serial number on this kit, which I thought was kind of pretty interesting. Now this is sold exclusively, well, at least this exact kit is sold exclusively at Costco. So if you see anything that is exactly like this, it just means they bought it from Costco and for resale for whatever reason in your market. So I'm going to open this up. We're going to take a look inside and have a closer look at the quality that I can tell from seeing it. And I will say one other important thing is you might have come over here because you saw a video that I did about the Apex screwdriver and I didn't think it was worth it. And if you're looking for something better than that screwdriver for an even cheaper price in this whole kit, you're not going to get there. I mean, this thing says, it claims over here on the side about the features of the screwdriver. And it has a 4 Newton meter max, so this is definitely not going to put together any furniture whatsoever. But this is perfectly fine for, you know, household repair or general screwdriving use. 4 Newton meters is also going to be really safe for use for most bicycle applications, except for the really tiny screws. And you also have this flexible head, which is very useful to get in those different difficult to reach places. So that's also very useful. It says it could drive up to 6,000 screws, but they're probably really small screws. So I'm not really looking at something that is going to be better than the Apex one that I did a little video on. So keep that in mind. And you know, for the same price of just that screwdriver set, you get a whole kit here. Now, what I'm really curious about is the overall kit. If you don't have a kit of general tools to use at home, I'm looking at this and generally just looking at the details and knowing what I know of Hoto or Hoto, I don't know how to say it. Let me know in the comments below how to say it. This looks like a pretty decent kit. It comes in this really nice case that is definitely more high-end than what you'd find in something like from Harbor Freight or even IKEA. And I'm really curious to see how and if this is better than the kits that you can get from, you know, one of those discount stores. All right, so this is the kit. It opens up from the side like so. It looks really slick. I will say that it looks, but also doesn't feel super rugged. There's no rubberized things here, so it might not have enough shock protection. So I would say that if I were to drop this from about 4 feet up, there's a chance that this whole thing would open and everything would spill right out. That's not something you want in a professional kit. But this is set up as a home kit. All right, I'm going to open this up. It opens up like this, and voila. Nicely presented, I have to say. So it looks like everything kind of holds. Here's the bottom. As you can see, you got the needle nose pliers. I'm going to take these out first. Take a quick look at that. Yeah, they feel pretty good. I have to say that the metal or the steel that is being used, it says it's high quality chromium-vanadium steel. It looks like it is made a cut above what you get at a place like Harbor Freight. So I'm going to see some definite value with that over there. Tape measure is something that a lot of people overlook, but it's very important, particularly for me when I am making stuff. So I am a part-time DIY woodworker, and I'm constantly needing to use tape measures all the time. And I have to say this is surprisingly good. This is definitely better than the cheap stuff that you can get. It automatically stops when you pull it out, and it retracts when you push this in. That's actually quite nice. The spring is perfectly loaded. I like it. The only thing I'd say about these, and the same feeling that I have with this case, is that there's no rubberization on here, so this is kind of slippery and easy to drop. So that actually fits in right over here. I don't know if I fit it in or if I'm fitting in correctly, but yeah. So there's a nice little space for everything, as you can see. All right, so that covers that. I am impressed with both of these pieces so far. Let's check out the claw hammer. This is something that is generally pretty useful around the house, and even when you're putting together furniture that you buy online. And that's pretty slick. It is really sleek, actually. I like it. This feels actually very modern. It's better than the cheap hammers that I've actually been getting from Harbor Freight, just in a feel. But this is a claw hammer, which is useful for a number of reasons. You can use this to pry stuff, take out nails if necessary. I don't know if a lot of people that are going to be using this is really going to be hammering a lot of stuff. It feels decently well balanced. This is not something I'm going to be using to build. Like, I'm not going to do any heavy duty stuff with this. But look over here. There are magnets in here, and what happens with that is you can stick on your nail, and since the steel nail will get stuck on the magnet, it will help you set it up. And I like that. That's a nice little addition. How well it works remains to be seen. But again, this is not a heavy duty hammer. I think this is decent enough for building your own IKEA furniture. Now, I noticed that the paint job on the bottom is not as nice, okay? But it's minor, you know. This is not that big of a deal. They have a little warning here to wear safety goggles. This is rubberized, actually, but it's not the type that feels... I wish it was a little bit better balanced. I'll say that. But it's good if I use it for tapping small things. So if I'm using the little nails, like say in the back of some sort of, what do you call it? Those cabinets, you know, where you're putting the backing on. This is a good size and weight. This looks really cool, but look, I used this once and it's already pretty well dented in there. It's a nice addition. I'll give it that. Okay, so next piece we're going to take a look at. This is the extension. This feels like it's pretty well made. I can see that they have some oil on here. I believe there's a magnet in there as well, hold well. Okay, pretty good. Good enough, I would say, compared to something like I might have from DeWalt. And then finally, let's take a look at next, in front of the screwdriver here. In front of the screwdriver here is actually a rubber cap here. This rubber cap fits right on top of the hammer, and then that allows you to use it kind of like a mallet, and that's also very useful as well. Is it going to replace a real mallet? No, but it definitely helps if you're hammering something, you don't want to damage anything, and you're just trying to push pieces in. That's actually useful to have. All right, next up, we're going to take a look at the screwdriver real quickly. This is something I really wish I had many years ago, and when I first got my electric screwdriver that I really like, it was a DeWalt and ran on 7.2 volt batteries that were nickel cadmium, and I loved the heck out of that thing because I used it all the time. Was it overkill? Yeah, something like this would have been more appropriate. Okay, same type of texture. It feels slightly rubberized. It feels smooth to the touch. USB port down here for charging, and then you got apparently a light that's built in here. We see that pretty often. And then you have different settings here where you have it off, and then you have off, level 1, level 2, level 3. I presume level 3 is going to be the, is that the speed? Yeah, I do believe those are the different torque settings. So if I have the torque settings shown on there, I'll probably put it up there on a screen, but level 3 is probably 4 Newton meters maximum. So this is going to be good enough for to start off most screws. It's not going to be good enough for me to tighten most screws for things that I might be using this for. But you know, if you're building a computer or something, this makes sense. It'll work just fine for that. I'm going to put this back in to the slot that it came out of, which is right over here. And I do like that this snaps all in here. So it's a nice kit that snaps right in. And then you have these bits. Now these S2 bits do look really well made as well. They're probably not going to be good as the German stuff, but you know, I'll reserve judgment for that. There's a nice selection in here. There are no security bits in here. I will, from what I can tell from here. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, there are. There are 1, 2, 3 different types of security bits here. And by security bits, I mean the ones that generally most people don't have. But they don't have the ones that have the hex with a hole in it. They have these other type of security bits on here. Now, are there any bits that were going to be used for small electronics? Not likely. Maybe 1 or 2 of these might be used for small electronics. For that, you'll probably need a more comprehensive kit. Here are the 2-inch pieces that they talk about. These typically I just like to attach directly right into the screwdrivers. And I will say these are definitely a cut above what you generally will see in a shop. So these are definitely more of a premium. They look and feel that way. As far as the hardness, I'm going to guess it's also a cut above too. Now this is something that I've had used in the past, and it's very useful and appropriately made construction-wise for the level of torque that you can put out on here. So it's not going to be driving like those deck screws in or anything like that, but if you are tightening up something that's 4 Newton meters or less, or getting around a corner, this is very useful, and it simply just plugs right into the head of the screwdriver and allows you to go around corners. This is also very useful, particularly if you are building a computer, like an old school computer. I don't know how many of you guys do that anymore, but that is really nice. Crescent wrench. Very smooth, no etching on here. My problem is it looks too modern. It's basically more looks than function. I would like a little bit more grip on here. There's just no grip. This, again, a lot of this stuff, no grip. It's just more about style than anything. And I like that there are indicators right here to give you roughly, it looks like it's in millimeters, to see how far open you might be. So if you're a very common size to use, at least, is 10 millimeters, you can rotate that right up to 10. And presumably that is right where 10 millimeter nuts are going to be, nuts or bolts. Very nice, actually, I have to say. I like that there's a little bit of a hook here, but functionally it's kind of a little bit slippery. That's something I can resolve myself. That's not too big of a deal, but it's very slick, very smooth. Then you got these hex pieces, also very nicely made. These are all of high quality stuff. This is higher quality than most of the cheap free stuff that you get from a place like Harbor Freight. Okay, I'm picking Harbor Freight a lot. I do like Harbor Freight. They do have higher end things. These would be on the higher end level of things. I forgot the names of the brands that are higher. Maybe the Icon set. So these do remind me of the quality that you would get from the Icon set. That's how I feel just looking and feeling these. And I'm just someone that has a lot of tools. I've used a lot of tools over my life, so just my general impressions. All right, now let's take a look at this. This looks like it is a razor, like box cutter. Also very useful tool to have for use at home. This really is a good general toolkit overall, just to have around. And yes, this is a box cutter. Has nice clicks to it. Yeah, it even has what appears to be like a string cutter, or what I sometimes see as a seatbelt cutter, but it has a little notch opening over there as well for you to maybe cut string. string of obviously not very thick. Will this lock? See, I pushed it out already. It's just automatically self-locking. As long as you don't touch this, it kind of stays. That's nice. That's one less thing to have to deal with. On the other ones that I have to rotate and it'll screw it in, and then this looks like it holds its place just fine without me having to worry about it. I like that. Still a little slick. These tools, handheld, are all very slick. Under here is a spot for you to carry and hold, like nails, screws, etc. But there's also a basic USB A to C charging cable. This is probably the cheapest part of the whole thing. Nothing special about it, but they give you one. That's the point, I guess. And no, it's not fast charging, and no, it's not power delivery. There is a user guide here, and I'll have a link down below to the user guide as well. So, do I think this is worth the $40 that you can get this for? Yes. Is it worth $80? No, I would not buy this for $80. Only because I think that this is designed, it just looks really cool. Everything's very slick. It's not crude, right? But for the most part, with everything else, you can get a similar functioning set for someone who rarely ever touches tools for like, I don't know, $10 for this whole kit. Like very similar set. And I'll have links down below on Walmart, and it'll probably function just the same for people who don't use tools much. And for those that do use tools a lot, chances are you already have better things that are available on here. Still, it's nice to have an extra kit. It's nice to have one at a different location, or when traveling, or just to have around a different part of the house, depending, or just, you know, keep one in the house, keep one in the garage. Or if you are out on a job site, for instance, like I do sometimes for network stuff. This is just a general good kit that I could just keep around in a car, and that'd be kind of useful for pretty much light duty use. So yes, I give it a thumbs up for $40. If you are interested in it, you want to check your local Costco. I'll have the item number up below or in the description somewhere, and you can go and check it out. Obviously, those are not affiliate links, not affiliated at all at this point with Costco. We'll see about that in the future. But yeah, let me know what you think. Please give us a like, subscribe for more. If you do end up picking up one of these, I'm really curious what you think as well. Particularly if you are a professional tradesman. Do you feel like some sort of cheap kit like this is useful at home or not? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next one. There is a FANTTIK version of this.